North of 49, a guide to the rest of your life. Welcome to North of 49. This week we take a look at the dream of retiring, selling the home and heading off to that special place where you always fantasized about living, only to find out that the cost of living in Shangri-La is enough to take your breath away. So where do you go? What do you do? How do you rework your retirement plans? Well, Corrine and Ian Scott faced just such a challenge when they discovered that their real estate dollar wasn't going to buy them half of what they had envisioned. They've come up with a great solution. Then stay with us as we join a variety of experts who look at 3 North of 49 compass points related to retiring, packing up, and moving away. Meet Ian and Corrine Scott. Clearly, they are in love. Here they are in the sunroom of their Kitimat home. 5 years ago, they met on the internet. Both of them had lost their partners a few years earlier. Then, when the time was right, each reached out across the World Wide Web to see if they could connect with someone.
It was a scary thing for both of us that we weren't quite sure whether we wanted to try this internet dating thing.
I didn't really know what would happen. I didn't know whether it was a good thing or a bad thing.
It worked out. They corresponded for 5 months before finally meeting.
We had so many things in common and had had a chance to talk about it over the months that it just all started to happen.
Love blossomed, and they started to make plans to retire together. Ian was living in Red Deer, Alberta, and Corrine was in Lac La Biche. Ian loved boating, and during their courtship, Corrine fell in love with the sea as well. It was time to move west. They sold their respective homes, hoping to have enough money to buy a new home, maintain and enjoy their boat, and to be able to travel. They looked at Vancouver and quickly realized the cost of real estate meant their money wasn't enough to buy a condo, let alone enjoy the boat and travel. So they looked at Victoria. Same thing. Ian had spent time in Kitimat over the years and suggested they take a look.
When I visited Kitimat for the first time and drove over the hill and saw the channel and the town laid out below me, I thought, this is it.
It may seem odd to think of Kitimat as a community ideally suited for retirees. That is, until you look under the covers.
The level of service here is beyond anything I have ever seen in any community. For the size, for less than 10,000 people, the services that they have are equivalent to major cities.
Kitimat was born of necessity. In the 1950s, the aluminum smelter was built at the head of the Douglas Inlet. With it came thousands of jobs. The company needed to create a community. They needed families to come and stay so that a stable workforce was in place. To do that, the town was designed with a quality of life that is rarely seen in a small town.
Kitimat has a tremendous advantage as far as housing costs are concerned. Taxes are low. The community is easy to get around. The bus service is tremendous.
Northern communities bring to mind the prospect of cold winters, but because Kitimat is in effect at the end of a fjord of ocean water, the climate is considerably more temperate than other communities in the area.
It's just mild. It doesn't feel like winter at all.
And when it does snow, the city has some of the best snow removal in Canada.
They make sure they don't blow snow in anybody's driveway. So you can have your driveway cleaned and you don't have a grader coming along putting a big windrow in front of it again.
For Ian and Corrine, Kitimat gives them everything they want. Traffic is non-existent, the doctor's office is 5 minutes away, and more importantly, in an era of doctor shortages, they were able to find a doctor immediately.
In Kitimat, we don't wait. The very first time I phoned for a doctor's appointment when we first moved here, and I needed to meet a doctor and get a family doctor, I was absolutely amazed because I had an appointment the next day.
Of course, to be happy, you need more than snow removal and a doctor nearby.
If we want things like big box stores, they're 50 kilometers away. If we want to go anywhere in the winter for a holiday, the airport is 40 kilometers away. I can't really think of anything that is lacking here for a retired lifestyle.
For Ian and Corrine, sitting at the dock on their boat, enjoying dinner with friends, is enjoyable because they have peace of mind about their money, which is possible because of the value of their real estate dollar. Their home is a fraction of the cost of a similar home on the south coast of British Columbia.
Coming to Kitimat, we were able to get our house, do all the renovations that we wanted to suit ourselves for the rest of our lives, and still have money left over to go on major trips.
As a result, they can afford to live the life they want. Shortly after their renos were completed, they flew off to Argentina and jumped on a ship for 5 weeks of travel.
The cost difference between spending a certain amount of disposable income in Alberta and the same amount of disposable income in British Columbia, and it only came out to like about $3,000 a year. We save that much in taxes here. So, you know, things like that, they all add up.
For Ian and Corrine, retirement in Kitimat gives them everything they want and need. More importantly, it provides them with a quality of life that is unattainable in larger urban centers.
When my granddaughter comes to visit, she's so excited to see us. And we're the grandpa and grandma that live in the mountains and have a boat.
North of 49, a guide to the rest of your life.